Mayor and Council, I want to take a little time to review the presentation that we have that will be presented to a number of community groups over the next couple of weeks leading up to the election. This is our last, although this is on television for our enormous number of viewers. If there's something that you'd like to see moved or changed, we still have an opportunity to do that before I meet with the Lions tomorrow night, the Chamber within the next couple of weeks, the Rotary, I believe later this week, and other groups as well. So on November 6th, residents will decide how to invest in the repair and improvements for recreational and outdoor amenities that make Elk River a thrilling destination to live, work, and raise a family. And this is the question you're going to see on the ballot. It'll be a local option sales tax. This is not a recreation referendum. This is actually a sales tax referendum. So I want to make sure that everyone is aware that the question will not point out specifically to recreation amenities, although they are within the language. We've branded this as Active Elk River, an item for every generation. What it includes is $35 million of projects that will be financed by a half-cent sales tax. This is not a permanent tax. This tax will, by state law, sunset at the end of the payment of the bonds. If the bonds are paid off earlier, we cannot turn that money back over again. As soon as the projects are paid for, the tax is done. So the tax brings in bigger numbers than we anticipated. We refund our bonds. We're done in 17 years. The tax will expire in 17 years. And then lastly, this is project specific. The only items that we can, by law, pay for are the items that are within the referendum and the legislation that you approved earlier this year. Why do we have a need to reinvest? This is a $35 million question. It began actually with a $9 million question when we completed our park improvement fund. We identified in that fund about $9 million of the projects throughout our entire park system that need to be repaired, replaced, updated, or are scheduled to be in the near future. We also have gone through a park master planning process and have heard from a lot of other user groups throughout the year regarding our facilities and our programming, and they've made requests as well, which accounts for a total of an $18 million park improvement fund list of items to improve over time. Secondly, 3 of our recreation facilities are aging: the Ice Arena, Lions Park Center, and the Activity Center 55+, all of which have been in growing need of repairs, updates, similar to you would have to your house, changing out roofs and windows and systems. Thirdly, is the growth of recreational demands. Following our large growth in the early 2000s, where our population doubled, we have many more kids around. We also have new sports have come to life in this time, including the growth of soccer and a game called lacrosse, which is kind of a hybrid game that had been around here longer than all of these other North American sports, first initiated by Native Americans. Female participation has really grown as well, creating additional demand on all of our facilities, both playfields as well as facilities. As you know, our largest demographic and our fastest growing demographic are our senior population. The retiring baby boomers are more active, more healthy, and looking for more things to do with their time. And we have a growing demand for senior activities as well. Fourth, community space needs. We have an ongoing request for community space needs for community meetings, activities, and we're limited in the size of the activities that we can hold. And then also this change in a lot of our youth sports have resulted in a requirement for year-round training, and folks are traveling many miles to complete that training. Lastly, an optimization of operations. Right now, having facilities spread into 3 different buildings, having different parks in different places of the city, we have staff scattered throughout the community. And one of the things that we can do here by bringing some of these programs together is to save costs through the economy of construction, reconstruction, the economy of staffing, the economy of operations. What is the investment? As I stated, it's $35 million in projects, and it's a comprehensive plan for both indoor and outdoor activities. The council has decided to utilize a property tax for a number of reasons. And with this property tax, what is very unique to municipalities is that this has to be approved not only by taxpayers, giving taxpayers a voice, but also by the state legislature. Here's the investment to break down a little closer. It's looking to expand and improve recreational opportunities for the Elk River Ice Arena by creating a multi-purpose recreation facility. This facility will serve year-round ice, turf, and activities and event needs. It'll include 2 full-size ice rinks, dry floor for the rinks that will allow additional activities within the ice rink, so it's not just an ice arena all year round. It's also an opportunity for craft shows, for bazaars, for home and auto shows, and those types of things. It'll also include a 30,000 square foot turf field house, and this is that year-round training opportunity which does not exist within the community at this point in time. 30,000 square feet of turf allow the turf groups to be able to practice their games throughout the winter months, as well as provide additional opportunities throughout the year for the entire community. The design of the building proposes having a catering cafe space which doubles over a concession stand by allowing to have broader community events within the facility itself, creating a more multi-purpose use of the building, as also another revenue stream for the facility. And also, as you approved most recently, is designated space for senior programming and activities. One challenge that we have with our existing building is that, aside from the maintenance requirements, is that it's not going to be for long meeting the long-term size needs for the growth of our senior population. But that's not all. It also includes critical rehabilitation of Lake Orno. We talked just briefly regarding the Lake Elk River watershed, and Lake Orno is a vital part of that. And what's really important here is that what wasn't talked about briefly before is that Lake Orno is what's protecting the Mississippi River. Everything from Lake Orno goes into the river. So what this will do is it will not only protect the Mississippi River and its habitat, it'll also revitalize the lake area to create more outdoor opportunities within the lake. And then the keystone on that lake is Orno Park. And this includes repairs and amenities to improve the beach area, to add a splash pad. If you've seen the popularity of our splash pad downtown, this is significantly larger for a greater population. It includes a skateboard park. And that's one of the items that we had a number of years ago. Unfortunately, that had deteriorated and became unsafe, and we had to take that down. And we've had our Park and Rec Commission working with a number of youth in our community to design and put together the plan for a new skateboard park, and also site that, which would be at Orno Park. It includes lighted pickleball and basketball courts. Pickleball is one of these new fun games that seniors enjoy playing, and it's become very, very popular, and where you see one, you see many courts of play. And also modern restrooms. Again, with the additional activity that goes on in our parks, the use, demand on having a modern restroom facility, the call for that has been greater and greater. The investment also includes connections and trail improvements to bring our parks, our schools, and our neighborhoods together for both pedestrians and bicyclists. It includes improvements to Lion John Wade Park. Currently, our play fields, our turf fields, are very stretched throughout the summer because of all of the use and the growing use that we've had. This will add 2 lighted ball fields to that park, which can be used for girls' fast pitch softball, for Little League level baseball, as well as for the little football guys and gals. It includes also improved concessions and modern restrooms at that facility, making that the next play field within our actual inventory. It also includes important upgrades to the youth athletic complex, a new playground, concessions and modern restrooms, and field lighting. We have a lot of green space over at that facility, but it's limited in the fall for the time that it can be used because of the earlier sunsets and the fall sports. How did this plan come to be? Well, this, believe it or not, has come through a lot of listening and a lot of talking. It began in some cases with Park and Recreation Commission, who manages and oversees and makes recommendations towards all of our facilities, as well as the Ice Arena Commission, who has had discussions with regard to replacement of ice systems for more than 10 years. We've had numerous meetings with civic organizations and athletic groups. The council led community listening sessions earlier this spring to find out and get input from residents. There was a lot of community input, including surveys and meetings during the park master planning process. Similarly, there was a community outreach and discussions with every user group we could imagine during the multipurpose community center task force study. We've also get a lot of feedback from our user groups and our programmers, the people that use our facilities throughout the year. This is the ballot question that you will see on the ballot. As you see, it states the question, what's different from most ballot questions, that this one here will not have the language on it that says this will raise your property tax, because as it is a sales tax, what this will do, this will initiate a half-cent sales tax. If the referendum fails, the council has explored options for a Plan B. There's not a lot of good options within those, and the length and long-term plan has not been fully developed at this point in time. A few months back, the council did unanimously decide that a Plan B would finance $17 million for improvements to the ice arena and dredging of Lake Orono. That cost $17 million bonded over 25 years, similar to the $35 million program. In this case, would add about an 11% increase to property taxes. There were no further discussion regarding other projects, so that's something that future councils will have to decide whether or not to deal with the existing facilities or make improvements, or how to make improvements to other playfields. Here's a snapshot comparison of the two different plans. The sales tax option creates the multi-purpose rec facility plus park improvements and dredging. Of that, it's about a $44.12 per year increase in taxes, and that's based on a University of Minnesota Extension Service study that was completed earlier this year. Again, Plan B just includes the ice arena improvements and Lake Orono dredging, and the impact there, again, is approximately 11% increase. $1.2 million per year is what the tax levy would increase, and based on our little over $10 million budget, it's about 11%. This is the council's commitment. As we discussed this, the council was looking for something that was comprehensive, that had options for everyone. There's a lot of needs throughout our systems, and it wasn't just set for one different user group or one activity. They want to ensure that we could accomplish these improvements from our list of items that need to be done in cooperation with the Park and Rec Commission, and they identified parks, trails, and sports activities that are impactful to our community. They also expressed a desire for high quality amenities, taking facilities, improving facilities for the long term, not just quick fix Band-Aid repairs. And lastly, an improvement in our future. The council is committed to supporting projects that maintain the city's vibrant quality of life and the local economy with respect to the taxpayers. Council's planning goals, again, is a comprehensive investment, fair and equitable. And that's something that a sales tax brings to this, is that we are a regional center, which separates us from many other communities. People come here to utilize our parks, our trails, to participate in the activities that we have. During our listening sessions, we heard quite frequently from folks who were interested in what this project was about, but they did not live in the community. But to them, this is their community. And this sales tax option will allow them to participate in the funding of those same facilities that they're so eagerly waiting to utilize. And again, it creates economies of investment. It allows us to create a lot of operational efficiencies. As we grow, we're able to build into new programming and to take advantage of not only the multiple use throughout the facilities, but also the added rental revenue opportunities. This is kind of hard to see on this resolution screen, but these are pages from our micro website that's attached to our existing website that has a lot more information, including a lot of frequently asked questions. So if you go to that at www.activeelkriver.com, you can find this website, or just go to elkriver.com and look for the projects page that states Active Elk River. For more information, I'm always here for you. As a matter of fact, we can add a 1 to that phone number, 1001, and encourage you to call me directly and not go to the front desk, because I want to hear from you. You can also reach me by email. Questions?
Kel, the thing you had, the length of the sales tax, it said 25 years on there. Is that the maximum it can be, is 25 years?
Correct. Mayor and council, the bond sale that we're looking at would be a 25-year repayment of those bonds. But as you recall from the times you've gone through this, we've often refunded bonds to get better interest rates and do early payoffs.
Right. So is there a maximum number of years that we can have this sales tax? Say we have a total decline in our economy and we don't collect that much. Is there a maximum number of years we can do this, or can we keep doing it until we collect the $35 million?
Mayor and council, I don't have to look into that for sure. I believe we specify the time, the project, and the amount, and those are the three things we have to have. So I think no matter what, that's over. The one thing I do want to bring to your attention, that since we began this discussion on sales taxes, and since that study was completed through the University of Minnesota Extension Service, there has been changes in law that wasn't accounted for in that 2015 study, and that is the online sales tax, which the Amazon tax. So that's a whole different revenue stream that was not accounted for off of that U of M Extension Service study.
Well, personally, I think we're going to collect more than the $2 million that we got instead in the study from the U of M, so that we'll be able to do this in a relatively quick amount of time. I think less than 20 years.
I would agree, Mayor and council, from the other municipalities that have utilized sales taxes to pay for community centers or recreation improvements, most of those pay them off about 30% ahead of time.
Okay. I know I'm not on the committee, but I'm concerned that we don't have any printed literature out to the residents yet. When is that going to happen?
Mayor, we have flyers that are being distributed as we speak. They've been going out for the better part of 2 weeks. Councilmember Wading, maybe help me with that. For the better part of 2 weeks.
Mailboxes?
So these are going, the Vote Yes group has been out canvassing, knocking doors, and handing them out. Our mailer itself, our consultant would like to send that as close to the election as possible. We're in the final stages of wrapping that up right now. We hope to have that done. We've also received our quotes for the cost of printing and mailing.
Now, in the past, we've had some issues with the mail, people getting, we had problems with the postcards, getting people for the listening sessions that we had. I hope we're allowing a fudge factor here to make sure everybody gets it, so people aren't getting it the day after the election or something, that, people were upset that they didn't get these postcards in the mail for the listening sessions right away so they could attend the first one. I just want to make sure we're allowing plenty of time so that everybody gets it and has a chance to look it over.
Trust me, we're very aware of it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, questions? Anybody else have questions?
Nice presentation.
Yep, good job.
Okay, thank you.